Welcome to the HMIS user training on shelter waitlist and facility check-in. In this training, we will cover what the shelter waitlist is, how to enter a client on a shelter waitlist, and how to check a client into a shelter facility in Client Track. So what's the purpose of the shelter waitlist? A shelter waitlist is a list maintained by a shelter or housing program who provides services or temporary shelter to unhoused individuals or families. It is utilized to track individuals and families who are waiting for available space or resources. When a shelter reaches its capacity and cannot accommodate everyone seeking shelter, they often use a waitlist system to organize and prioritize those who need assistance. Some shelters operate on a first-come, first-served basis, while others have waitlists. If a client is placed on a waitlist, it typically means the client will be contacted when a bed becomes available. Prior to entering a client on the shelter waitlist, please ensure the client is already enrolled in the coordinated entry project. The shelter waitlist entry is done from the client workspace. So once you're logged into Client Track, you will navigate to the client workspace, then click on the housing menu group, then select reservation/check-in. Once the housing facility form opens, you'll select the blue waiting list hyperlink to the right of the facility you will be adding your client to. For the purposes of this training, we will be using the client winter sample. So I've logged into Client Track, I've navigated to the client workspace, and we are on Winter Samples dashboard already. If I scroll down, I can see that Winter is already enrolled into the coordinated entry project. I will then select the housing work group menu group, followed by the reservation check-in menu option. We will be adding Winter to the Women's Emergency Shelter A. So to add Winter to the waitlist, we will click on the blue waiting list hyperlink. From the housing waitlist search form, you will click on Add New to add your client to the waitlist. Once the housing waitlist data entry form opens, you will then search for the client again and select the client you're adding to the waitlist by clicking the magnifying glass on the client field. You will then complete the remaining fields that are required on the form. Please also note that if you know any special accommodations or any special bedroom requests, you can add them on the form as well. But be sure that all required fields are added, otherwise you will not be able to save the form and move on. Once all of your data has been entered, click on Save. You are then redirected back to the housing waitlist search form, where you will see that your client has been added, as well as the status of their waitlist and the date that they were placed on the waitlist. Once a bed becomes available for an individual client, it is now time to check them into the shelter facility. Please note that the client you are checking into the shelter facility must already have a program enrollment for the shelter prior to checking them into a bed at the shelter facility. Once logged into Client Track, you will again navigate to the client workspace. You will click on the housing menu group and then select the reservation check-in menu option. The housing facilities form will open again, and from there you will select the blue check-in hyperlink to the right of the facility you'll be checking your client into. We will be using Winter Sample again for this example. We are in the client workspace again, And we are going to confirm that Winter is already enrolled into the shelter project. As you can see, they are enrolled into the shelter project. We are going to click on the housing menu group, which is already open, and then click on the reservation check-in menu option. Winter will be checking into the Women's Emergency Shelter A, the same facility that they were entered onto the waitlist for. So click the blue check-in hyperlink. From the shelter check-in form, complete the required fields. Be sure to select the appropriate shelter enrollment from the enrollment drop-down. If you know which room the client will be assigned to, you can select it from the room drop-down. After all information has been entered, you will click on Save. You will then be redirected back to the housing facility form. This concludes the trainings. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please reach out to your HMIS support team.